Today on Studio G, a new agreement with Iran implemented by President Obama causing mixed reactions around the world.
The UNLV Nursing School celebrates its 50th year, and we'll show you how they will be commemorated.
And we take a look at baseball season's opening day. Studio G starts right now.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Studio G. I'm Nicole Reynolds.
And I'm Becca Dimmick. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky announces that he will be running in the upcoming presidential elections of 2016, making himself the second Republican to enter the campaign. He tweeted, "It's time for a different kind of Republican to take on Washington." Earlier today on his website, Senator Paul wrote, I am running for president to return our country to the principles of liberty and limited government. Supporters on social media are posting selfies with the hashtag #IStandWithRand.
Blues legend B.B. King has been hospitalized. His daughter said that he is dealing with dehydration caused by his type 2 diabetes. His latest health issue comes less than a year after dehydration and exhaustion caused him to cancel his concert tour. King was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987 and has 30 Grammy nominations. A new policy agreement with Iran was implemented by President Obama last week. The plan has caused some mixed reactions with Americans around the world, but the Obama administration asserts that this is America's best bet to monitor nuclear weapons in that region.
Last week, President Barack Obama put into effect the Iran nuclear agreement, which would deny Iran's right to obtain plutonium and enriched uranium.
Which, if fully implemented, will prevent it from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
We're not basing this on a naivete or trust or some element of good faith. This is based on real steps, real accountability, real measures that have to be implemented, and on accountability if they're not.
We're making a nuclear deal here. It's the right thing to do. It's the best way to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon for the longest period of time.
According to the policy, the U.S. will support Iran if the country were to go to war or be invaded by another nation. Although the Obama administration remains optimistic about the benefits that this policy will bring, there is a chance that Iran could become a nuclear-armed state by going back on the agreement.
We see this deal as very dangerous. We say this deal is a move in the wrong direction.
You can never stop Iran from cheating on a deal if it decides to do so. What you can do is hope to detect such cheating very early.
We've always said that Iran would be able to access peaceful nuclear energy. The question essentially is, could we design a program with the Iranians and the P5+1 that could meet our bottom lines? And that's what this program does, because if you look at their Iraq facility, they're not producing weapons-grade plutonium. If you're looking at their Fordo facility, they're not enriching uranium. And if you look at their Natanz facility, the only place where they will be enriching uranium, they're dramatically reducing the number of centrifuges that are operating and only operating their first-generation centrifuges.
We think that this is a better way, a peaceful way to try to resolve a difference.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Andre Walls.
The policy requires Iran to check in with sanctions to ensure there is no cheating the system in terms of obtaining the prohibited elements. Since the agreement launched, President Obama has called the program a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to stop the spread of nuclear weapons in a dangerous area. If the plan upholds, it could be the president's biggest foreign policy agreement to date.
The UNLV School of Nursing is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year and will be commemorated in several different ways. Reporter Monica Medrano spoke to the current and former deans of the school.
The School of Nursing's golden anniversary has come a long way since its implementation and has a lot to celebrate.
One series of events is to involve our very first graduates, and we're fortunate in that a number of them still live in the area. So we are highlighting them at some of the sporting events.
We have had, in celebration, students come back and tell us their stories over the years, and we're able to look at some of those in terms of passing them around in the School of Nursing and sharing those with our community partners. I think it speaks a lot when they're willing to come back and participate at some of the sporting events and participate in the gala dinner It means they care, they're still engaged, they're proud of their school. And I think that's a great start to some of our new graduates who will see at some of those functions, that you do go through the School of Nursing and you come out well prepared to have a long career and come back and tell other people about it.
Dean Yuha says the school prides themselves on their well above average rate of passing for the national licensing exam.
We've had area hospitals and other clinical agencies specifically recruit our students to go and work there.
The online graduate program is also ranked 6th in the nation. Another technological advancement is the Clinical Simulation Center.
It is a remarkable facility, but we share it with 2 other schools, which gives us the ability to do far more than we would ever have dreamt possible if we were just working by ourselves. Teaching students that in that setting allows them to make mistakes there and get them corrected there rather than in a hospital with real live patients. So it's been remarkable.
Both Dean Yuha and Carolyn Sabo look forward to future advancements in the school.
It's a very exciting time for us with lots and lots of opportunities.
Reporting for Studio G, I'm Monica Medrano.
For information regarding the anniversary, visit unlv.edu/nursing/50th. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Sunday evening jazz. I mainly play a lot of contemporary jazz music from the 1960s up until about 2012, 2013. When I go on, just explain who it was, the name of the song, the name of the artist, maybe the name of the album, their career. I just hope that everybody enjoys it and appreciate it for the kind of music it is and how great it is. My name is Sam and I host Sunday Evening Jazz on the rebelhd2.com.
If you told me my best friend would have died at 19, never would I have thought it'd be from a heroin overdose. I should have seen the signs, but sometimes you only see what you want to see.
And sometimes, a certain darkness is needed to see the stars. Some are never given the gift of recovery in time, so fight for your life while you still have one, because there is no hero in heroin, only those who overcome.
Bad things, just to get by.
I was scared to come home sometimes. The gang knew where I lived.
Mommy said she couldn't afford it, but I want to be a singer when I grow up. I like singing.
I'm not afraid anymore. My life has changed.
My dreams are coming true!
I realize now that my world is so much bigger. Welcome back from the break. Today we have in studio the Dean of our very own UNLV Law School, Dan Hamilton, to tell us about the accomplishments of the law school. So thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So I heard that you guys jumped 16 spots in the past year.
Yes.
Where does that put you now in the rankings?
So yes, we did jump 16 points in the U.S. News rankings. So we are now 67th in the country. That's our highest ranking ever, I'm pleased to say, in the history of the school. And we are really one of the top public law schools in the United States.
How did you guys get there? What steps did you take to to jump those 16 spots?
Well, I must say that the U.S. News rankings are famously mercurial. They go up and down. That said, we work very hard on some of the factors they do measure. Most importantly, it's jobs for our students. So our placement rate improved, and we're very proud of that. And it means that if you come to the UNLV Law School, we work very hard to help you find a satisfying career in law. And now that's paying off with more and more of our students finding those jobs.
So as the dean, you've been there for the past year. When you came in, how did you know that you guys wanted to progress on these things?
So every law school cares about the rankings. We have to be very nervous. We have to be very careful about the rankings because they do go up and down. So what we try to do is align what we do with the parts of the rankings that we care about. So any dean will tell you, in this new market, in this new normal of legal education, jobs for your graduates is really job one. So we worked very hard to make sure that we had the kind of relationships around town and around the state that we needed. And our career services office is outstanding. They work constantly, and we really focus on that, and I'm pleased to say it's paying off. I want to say that a large part of that is our clerkship program. So law school graduates sometimes work for judges for a year or so after they graduate. We now have the 6th highest clerkship rate in the United States. So that's another great feature of our law school. That's a great kind of preparation. So we push hard on the clerkship front, and we push hard on the jobs front. I should say that we are the only law school in the state of Nevada, and that does give us a real advantage. And the last thing I'll say is, and we also work very hard to place people regionally. So I spend time in Salt Lake and in Los Angeles and in San Diego and in Phoenix, placing our graduates there. So we are more and more a regional law school as well as the state's law school.
Okay. And how do you create those? Are those, something you had before we came in, or did you?
So it is a contracting legal market nationally. There are fewer and fewer jobs to go around. So the job of the dean and the job of the career placement office is to make sure that employers know how good we are and know our strengths. We have the 3rd ranked legal writing program in the country, I'm very pleased to say. We have the 9th ranked alternate dispute resolution program in the country. So a large part of this is just making sure that employers know how good we are, right? And part of that is me and shoe leather getting out there, and I've gone to Reno easily 10 to 15 times to go meet with employers there, and I meet with employers around the region, and I meet constantly, and so does our career services team, with people in the state. And of course, the best advertisement is our students. Our students go to these jobs and they succeed, and then that builds on itself.
Right. I know that enrollment has been down in the past few years. Do you guys expect this ranking change to help you with enrollment?
Enrollment is a very tricky animal in that the number of applicants nationally to law school is down, this is nationally, not Nevada, is down 55% over the last 5 years, so a little more than half. So we are all competing for a smaller and smaller number of JD applicants. So we need our enrollment to stay constant. We don't need it to grow, but we need at our current level, we need it to stay constant, and we need to make sure that we keep our admission standards high, because otherwise, as we've been talking about, employers won't be interested in our graduates as much. So maintaining steady enrollment while keeping our admission standards high is the goal, and I think we're there.
So, what does our law school have to offer that a lot of the other schools don't have?
So it's a young law school. It's 15 years old, and that means that we have the energy and commitment of a startup business, right? The faculty gets to know students, and the faculty engages with our students, and we have a kind of place in the community in the state that is unique. We're the only law school in the state, as I said. So I came from Illinois. I came from Chicago, basically. There are 6 law schools in the city of Chicago, right? There's 1 law school for the state of Nevada, right? That gives us a unique comparative advantage, and we pride ourselves on the kinds of relationships that we have, and we're grateful the way the community has, from the day we opened our doors, rallied around the law school as something that's really a success for the state of Nevada. I mean, bear in mind, just 15 years ago, every lawyer in the state of Nevada came from somewhere else. And now we've built this very successful, real signature success for higher education in Nevada, and it just is something that the community continues to embrace. And that's in part what drew me here, and it's in part what's the story of our success.
So what goals do you have coming up that you're looking towards?
So the main goal in an era of declining numbers of people applying to law school is to make sure you maintain the quality of your institution. That is really job one for me, is to make sure that we have the kinds of students that we've always drawn, the kind of top applicants that have interesting stories that we've always drawn. That's harder and harder to do in this era, so we are pushing hard. We just had our admitted student events last week. We're on the phone, we're flying around the region meeting with our admitted students. So that is really job one, to make sure that we continue to get top students, and that our faculty is nationally recognized in multiple fields, so like I say, legal writing and in health law and in alternate dispute resolution. So the goal is to make sure that the faculty keeps producing top scholarly work, because that, of course, then builds our reputation. So I would say jobs, students, faculty. Those are the constant goals.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, and we hope to continue to hear good things about your college in the future.
Pleasure, thank you.
We'll take a short break, and then we'll come back with your international news. Stay tuned.
The show is La Alternativa. It's the alternative in Spanish. It's mainly a music show. We play Latin alternative music from all over Latin America, Mexico, Chile, sometimes Spain. Sometimes we talk about news stories that we feel aren't being covered in like mainstream media, specifically Latin stories. It could be anything like protest, social activism, anything we find interesting, pretty much. I want them to discover new music. I don't think that many people in the US know about Latin alternative music. It's very similar to alternative music here in the US, but in Spanish, and it talks about issues going on over there. And also kind of see what's going on in Latin America. There's a lot of, I think, activism that's kind of missing in the US a little bit.
My name is Bruce Gill. I'm the host of La Alternativa. Check it out at therebelhd2.com.
The name of the show is Jazz and a Touch of Soul. The show consists of basically jazz and a little soul music and pulling in a little chill music too, a lot of groups out of the UK. My style of music will help you open your mind more and open your ears to other sounds and other types of music. The name of the show is Jazz and a Touch of Soul. I'm Langston Carter, your host, every Saturday morning from 8 until 10 on rebelhd2.com.
The name of our show is Deep Thought. We talk about anything that can be discussed from a philosophical angle.
Being able to critically think and back up their claims with evidence, just like justifying their beliefs. We mix it up. Sometimes we just have pure discussion, sometimes we have interviews and then commentary.
Maybe find a little bit more meaning in life, kind of understand what's going on and why from a little bit deeper perspective, I think are the main two things.
My name is Walter from Deep Thought, and listen to us on the Rebel HD2.
Welcome back from the break. I'm Dina Banning. Now hold tight because we're going around the world. Thousands gather Easter Sunday as Pope Francis prays for peace in St. Peter's Square, making the statement that the Roman Catholic Church is calling for an end to the fighting in the Middle East. Pope Francis prays for peace, but Houthi rebels in Yemen have reportedly gained ground in the southern city of Aden. But Russia and the Red Cross called for a 24-hour humanitarian ceasefire amongst the airstrikes and the fighting. The Red Cross says the halt is needed to bring in medical supplies to the wounded. The United Nations said Thursday at least 519 have been killed in Yemen the past 2 weeks. With 1,700 people wounded, people are still being evacuated. Looting broke out in Tikrit hours after ISIS forces were driven out, a senior Iraqi security official said. The fight to free Tikrit from ISIS may have been won, but Iraq's struggle is far from over as troops get ready to liberate the city of Mosul. A manhunt is underway for the man who officials say planned last week's massacre at a Nairobi university. The Interior Ministry is offering a $200,000 reward for Mohammed Mohamud. It says he has connections to an extensive terror network in Kenya. Authorities have also identified one of the attackers as the son of a top regional officer. The father says his son went missing soon after graduating from law school in Nairobi in 2013. Kenya's president has declared 3 days of mourning after Thursday's massacre at a college in the town of Garissa. Al-Shabaab Islamist militants killed 147 people there. In a televised speech, Uhuru Kenyatta warned the militants that his government would respond in the severest way possible. Kenyan police parade the dead bodies of suspected terrorists responsible for Thursday's attack in the University of Garissa, Kenya. A student survivor shares her story after hiding in a cabinet for 48 hours. CNN reporter Pure Foy finds out what happened.
Now suddenly we had the bullets, and then we start coming out, and then we say, what is happening? And then by that time now we ran to our rooms, and then these people came running, following us. And then when we reach our room, we hide under beds. And then when they were outside, they told us that if you have hide yourself under bed, you come out very fast. And then I decided to go to the above the wardrobe. When they were outside now, they told if you don't know how to read in the Muslim whatever, and then you lie down, and then if you know, you go to the other side. And then non-Muslims were told to lie down, and then I don't know now what happened because I was up there. Yeah.
Were you scared? Were you scared?
I was scared so much.
Under a super typhoon, Maysak is still a threat to the Philippines. It weakened to a tropical storm Sunday, according to the Philippine National Weather Service. The storm is bringing rain to the Asian island nation. Filipinos are being warned to be on guard for flash floods and landslides. A person who recently returned from West Africa has been sent to an Ebola treatment center in Canada. Officials say it's only a precautionary move, though.
Our paramedic dispatch identified through their screening processes this patient had a travel history, and as such, our paramedics were alerted prior to making patient contact to take all necessary precautions. They donned protective equipment and took all the necessary precautions before they made patient contact. They assessed the patient, loaded the patient up to go to Royal Victoria Regional Health Center, and en route contacted Royal Victoria staff.
That's all the international news I have for you today. I'm Dina Banning. Stay tuned.
My show is called Window on the Middle East, and it deals with all the issues that deal with the Middle East. Middle East is a very important part of the world. I grew up in America, and yet I'm from the Middle East. It's a commoner's viewpoint based on experience as well as scholarship. My name is Shervin Mushuri. I'm the host of the talk show Window on the Middle East at the rebelhd2.com.
The show's name is the Rebel and Revolt Show. Pretty good show about, just someone who will actually talk about UNLV the way an outsider might feel. We talk about current events, we talk about politics, try to take an offensive swing with it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, and then we talk about, the little things in life that everybody laughs about. And we are the Rebels and we are revolting. My name is Jameson Wilk and I run the Rebel and Revolt Show, and you can tune in at therebelhd2.com.
Welcome back from the break. Whether your team started the season with a home run or stood at the plate and struck out, baseball season is officially back in full swing.
Yankees are back. Put it on the map. I'm telling you. We've been coming, me and him, since I was a little kid every year, so I wanted to, keep it going with her, and hopefully we'll be doing it when I'm his age.
Spring day, and it's Cardinal, so it's kind of crazy.
2015 season kicked off with 14 games, which included new rosters, lineups, and new stadium oddities. Fans at the Cardinals Stadium were faced with long lines for concession stands and restrooms, some waits of which exceeded an inning and a half. In addition, a new protocol has been implemented at all Major League Baseball stadiums. Spectators are now required to be screened by metal detectors before passing through security, all of which is in an effort to increase stadium safety. However, despite all the new that the season has already brought, when it comes to baseball, some things never change. Fans showed up to the stadiums dressed head to toe in the gear of their team, participated in parades, and the annual sausage race. For one couple, opening day rekindled not love, but rivalry, as their teams took to the field.
You're married?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Seriously? And this works? Really?
It was big enough, so I can forget about this.
Oh, well, this only happens a few times a year, right?
That's right.
Friendly rivalry. Yeah?
And if you're a fan like those two and want to get in on the action, you can track every team's entire season, play by play, using the official app of the MLB. The app MLB.com@bat is available for any smartphone or tablet device.
March Madness has officially come to an end. In a tight title contest, Duke defeated Wisconsin 68-63.
4 freshmen led the team to the school's 5th national title. Freshman of the Year Jaleel Okafor, Tyus Jones, Grayson Allen, and Justice Wilson contributed 60 of the team's 68 points.
Rather than ingesting salt, you can relax in rooms made of it. People are breathing in misty salt vapors in hopes of purifying the skin and clearing their lungs. I was able to catch up with the people at the Salt Room Las Vegas to learn more about this new health treatment. The treatment known as halotherapy or salt therapy has been around for hundreds of years, but is just now making its way to the United States.
It's 200 years old therapy, in fact. Before, people used to have to travel to Poland, to Polish salt mines, and spend about a week or two inside the caves to get respiratory relief. Now that one's natural resource is actually available in the doorsteps of our urban community, and we don't have to buy tickets and travel to Poland anymore. In Europe, it's actually used as a very routine type of hygienic therapy for people who get seasonal allergies or who have asthma attacks. They just go and get the salt therapy several times a year and just never have to really use their inhalers and pop antibiotics. And
Relief for respiratory and skin disorders such as allergies, asthma, and eczema due to the antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties found in the mineral. The rooms are designed to mimic natural salt caves found in Eastern Europe. The Salt Room Las Vegas offers a range of services for adults and children. For more information on halotherapy, you can visit thesaltroomlv.com.
Rebels, mark your calendars because the Undie Run is back. The 1-mile fun run around campus that celebrates positive body image and wellness will be held this Thursday, April 9th. The run is challenge by choice, and if running around in your undies isn't for you, gently used unwanted clothes will be accepted as donations for Project 150. Following the run, participants are invited to the after party that will feature a dunk tank, pink UNLV giveaways, and coupon giveaways to Yum's Gourmet Frozen Yogurt. Registration is free. Just visit the website at the bottom of your screen.
Have you ever done an undie run?
I haven't, and I've seen other schools that have done it and other universities that have done it, but I think the meaning behind this one is a lot different, and I really respect it.
I think so too. I've seen friends at other schools that have done it, and I didn't know that UNLV did one, and I think this is cool.
And I think one thing they're actually doing too is because it promotes positive body image is they're allowing you to write the parts or write things on your body of the parts that you're not necessarily comfortable with, and you just get to sweat it off, just like enjoy it.
That's really, I think that's amazing. That's all the time we have for you today. Make sure to join us tomorrow for another edition of Studio G. I'm Becca Dimmick.
And I'm Nicole Reynolds. Have a great day, Las Vegas.